what do you think is going to happen? You know, hearing all these GMs boast and brag, they're going to do this and they're going to do that. Does anybody, like, do you think that Toronto already got themselves 2 brand new assistant coaches? But do you think they're going to overhaul that whole team? Let me ask you the more important question. Are they going to be able to overhaul that whole team?
Well, they're going to be able, Frank. I think what it boils down to is, are you going to sell that skid of juice for nothing? Or are you going to keep it and hope that its price goes back up a year from now? That's their dilemma. They're either going to pay part of the 2 big guys' salaries, the guys they want to get rid of, for just reason. They're either going to pay part of their salary, or they're not going to be able to trade them. And if they can't trade them, the only way they can get rid of them is dump them. I think at the end of the day, they're going to subsidize the salary fairly substantively.
Do you think that there's any chance that Babcock's going to say, listen, Gabby, I got a ladder, Gabby. I told you I got one. Do you think there's any chance that Babcock is going to say, listen to me, I want to try and see if I can reason with these guys and see if I can, since we're stuck with the salaries and stuff, if I can get the best out of them? Do you think there's any chance of him thinking that way?
I don't know, but I know if there is, the credibility of the Maple Leafs as an organization will have just gone down the drain, and they'll just see the entrails as it goes.
Okay, I agree with you, but what I'm just saying to you, instead of being totally pessimistic, do you think that Babcock would have a chance? Like, other teams are going to try to make a deal at a discount. They're going to try to take advantage of Toronto's dilemma, and they're going to get a guy like Kessel for $5 million, and Toronto's going to pick up the slack or whatever. I'm just giving you an example, right? Yep. Now, Babcock has had, good luck with getting the best of the people.
Yeah, but not people like Kessel and Phaneuf. You know what, Frank? It's not being pessimistic. It's being realistic. Are you?
I agree, but I'm just saying to you,
talk about it.
If I was, you could tell me to go fuck myself. It's not the first time. I'm just saying, if I was Shanahan and I just got, Babcock, and Babcock would say to me, you know what, let me see if I can do anything with Phaneuf, and let me see if I can do anything with Phil Kessel before you get rid of them and pay a big fine for doing that. Would you not do that, or do you think that, there's a lot of more tradable players on a team, and it's easy to move things around, right?
Well, I don't know who you're thinking of in Toronto, but I think the conclusion has been drawn, Frank, that Kessel and Phaneuf will not change. And that's not fair.
Why would okay, fair enough. I'm not going to argue that point. But why the fuck would anybody else take them then? If they're dogs, if they're a stone, why would anybody take them?
I don't know, Frank. The only reason I can give you is what I just gave you. A reduced salary, and they still got 8 years of the stiff.
Yeah, but why would any other hockey team take them?
Frank, they may not. They may not. They may say, hey, you can do all you want. We don't want this guy in our organization for 7 years, and we don't want that defenseman in our organization for 6. It's called poison.
They got to have a solid, strong room. I mean, one thing that all good teams, great teams have is internal leadership. You could have the greatest coach, and again, Babcock's a great coach, but he had internal leadership. He had, Stevie Y at the end. He had Nick Lidstrom. Then he had Zetterberg. And
but he hasn't had Stevie Y for a long time.
No.
I agree with Zetterberg, and I agree.
There's a culture, right? And you need
but I agree also
leadership.
that, But I think that a Ferrari is only as good as the driver, and if anybody's got a chance, if there is any sort of chance, and I'm gonna side with Billy Waters. If there is any sort of chance to bring out the best, you see, I like Kessel. It's really depressing to see a guy throw his career down the toilet. He can play a great game, out of shape and effortlessly. Can you imagine if he took it serious?
But I don't think anybody on the team calls him out. I don't think he respects any of his teammates.
No, he has no respect for anyone other than himself.
Yeah.
And what he and Phaneuf did in the darkest days of the Maple Leafs franchise history cannot be overlooked. And I know where you're coming from, Frank. Maybe Babcock could get Kessel and say, okay, you pay what you want for him, but I don't want him around here. Or if he was with another team and took him from Toronto, he'd want to make sure that he was at a price. Players on the team aren't looking at him as...
But if everything you guys are saying is correct, he'd be worthless at any price.
No, he goes into a stronger room.
At any price.
Like, he won't pull that shit with Jonathan Taves, and if he ever went to Chicago, like somewhere where there's some real strong leadership, where they call him out. No one calls him out in the Leafs, in Leafs land.
No, well, he doesn't speak to anybody.
Yeah.
But
I just don't understand the point. If you're saying that these guys are uncontrollable and there's nothing that you can do,
they're not leaders.
These guys,
they're good hockey players,
effective.
not
okay,
leaders.
So if they're fucking good hockey players, and you got one of the best coaches, no nonsense, grassroots, one of the most respected coaches in the NHL, why the fuck wouldn't you give him one chance with him?
No, still need.
Listen to me, guys. Hear me out. Give me the privilege to finish my thought. It could be wrong. Why wouldn't you give him a chance? You're stuck with them like lead pipes, right? You're stuck with them like Samsonite luggage.
Well, Frank, let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance. Good luck doing the Reds.
Well, Billy, you're smarter than I am. You did the business side of one of the best franchises in the world when it comes to hockey. You're gonna be stuck with a good portion of the salary. Yes or no?
You're gonna be stuck with at least $2 million a year, or
minimum. That's minimum, right?
Yeah. You're gonna be stuck with it for 7 years.
So why wouldn't you at least gamble? The beginning of the season with a new coach before you throw them, you make a deal like that and be stuck for, still, ironically, you're still stuck with them for another 7 years or whatever the fucking salary is, right? Whatever deal you make with another team. Because a general manager is going to be very savvy when they make that deal, right? It was the same with McGillney. Didn't Toronto get stuck with a bit of their salary when he went back to the New Jersey Devils?
I don't recall, Frank. I wasn't. There was never any salary exchange on, but I think I was gone in 2003. I know I was gone in 2003.
I read somewhere that McGillney at Toronto ate some of the salary when they gave it to Lou Lamoriello, who was notorious for doing shit like that.
Oh well, I know that Alex was making $4 million, so Lou wouldn't want to pay that. But when you're getting Phil Kessel, for me, as a in-closet Maple Leaf fan, I'm very happy with addition by subtraction. Get them out. Get the best you can. If you're not smart...
Fair enough. I'm just saying sometimes you got to make the best with what you got and not create more liability for yourself. That's what I'm just saying. So on the one side, you're freeing up salary cap, right?
Well,
on the other side, you're still paying to free up that salary cap.
Well, here's why I think they should pay salary, and I've said this many times. It's going to allow the Leafs to make a hockey trade for Phaneuf and for Kessel, and they'll get something. They'll get a first-round pick and a good prospect, at least for both.